In this video, I'll walk you through how I created this simple animated rendering of my ghost figurine. After importing the model into Visualize, I started by disabling that static background image and applied the soft box warm and cool environment and rotated it so that I could get the lighting kind of coming from both sides onto my ghost. I also added a model for a ground plane and applied a wood appearance to it. So this looks kind of like a tabletop or a desk. Here I'm just adjusting the scale and position of that plane so that it sits nicely behind the ghost. I also decided to change the aspect ratio to 4:6. And I applied a plastic material to the body of our ghost. I prefer to do this because the materials in Visualize allow you to adjust some more of the settings. So I actually went for a slightly off-white color. It's barely noticeable, the final product there, but just a slightly cream color to it. I started adjusting some of the settings for the wood appearance to see how I like the reflection of the model coming off of that. I also inserted this cone model. My goal with this was to have it sit fully inside of the ghost, and I'm planning to apply an emissive appearance to it so that it's kind of like a candle, or maybe an electric candle, battery powered in there. Looks like I applied the emissive to our ground plane, so I just threw the wood appearance back on there. After applying the accurate render mode, you can see the light reflecting inside the ghost. I also moved the ghost body up off of that ground plane just a little bit so that you could actually see the light coming from underneath. And I'm liking how this is looking, but the background is still a bit too bright, so I edited the settings for my 360 environment to make it a little dimmer. I also added a directional light into the space. I was hoping to get the effect of like moonlight shining from above. So from here on out, I was just adjusting the brightness settings between the background and the directional light. I also adjusted the brightness of the quote-unquote candle. I was pretty happy with this, so I rendered this out as a still image, which you can see here. And I used this as sort of the finish point for my animation. So all of those settings will be what the animation finishes on at that 6-second mark. So I went through and created animation keys for the light position and the background settings. And first I adjusted the light position at the 0-second mark and created an additional animation key. So what you see here in the preview is that the light position is moving from 0 seconds to 6 seconds, and by 6 seconds, it's at that final position that we wanted it set for from the still image. I followed a similar procedure. I just adjusted the softbox 360 environment brightness at the 0-second mark. So it starts off bright and then it gets dim throughout the course of the animation as that spotlight is kind of moving up. I did the same thing for the candle light appearance, that warm emissive light appearance. I had it start off dim, and then about halfway through the animation, it's as if the light kind of turns on. So this is supposed to look like, you know, the sun is setting, the moon is coming up, the candle turns on, and here's the final render. Thanks for joining us. I hope you found this fun and insightful, and you have a happy Halloween.